reason number 33 to get a Nissan. The cold. Because winter isn't done with us yet. Good thing the 2026 Nissan Rogue was built to conquer all conditions. With intelligent all-wheel drive, standard heated front seats, heated steering wheel, and heated mirrors, you can leave the worst of winter out in the cold. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue S starting at 0.4% for up to 36 months. Includes a 0.5% loyalty rebate for qualifying Nissan customers. Until March 2nd on approved credit. Conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
There's a new boss in town at Hydro-Quebec, and I am very, very happy to welcome Sophie Brochu onto our program, the new CEO of Hydro-Quebec. Madame Brochu, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure for me. Good morning.
So, first question, how do you get a job like this? It's not LinkedIn or Job Boom. Like, how do you get a job? How'd this happen?
Well, I don't know how it's usually done. In my case, I've been working in the energy field for over 30 years, so people actually know me in Quebec, in the society, at the government, and within the business community. I had been offered the job 5 years ago. At the time, I was the CEO of Énergie. I was in the middle of the realization of our strategic plan. I couldn't let go. I told that publicly. I was touched. And at that time, I said, Hydro-Quebec is certainly one of the most beautiful energy company in the world. So I wanted to be clear about the fact that I thought HQ was great and that the people over there were fantastic.
So it must be really interesting for you since you went through a previous transition with Énergie, or the old gas metro, right? And you do this transition. And I guess if you look at Hydro-Quebec today, there are some very interesting parallels about their transformation and where Hydro-Quebec wants to go. What can you tell us about those parallels?
Well, the parallel is probably about, what we're going through right now. Hydro-Quebec had already embarked into a very innovative transformation. Comes COVID-19, and then we're now, Elias, as you know, in another dimension. So, for instance, what we call in France, numérique, I'm sorry, my
digital,
English doesn't
yeah,
go.
digital. Yeah.
Just digital, the way that we are able to work from a distance. Yesterday, something seemed impossible, and now it's like, no matter what, it's going to be very easy. So Quebec, like many other societies across the world, has come across probably 10 years forward into digital. Mm-hmm. It will change profoundly the way we live, the way we work, the way we consume. So all this brings about challenges for Hydro-Quebec, but also fantastic opportunities. And in the necessity for us all, and Hydro-Quebec being an important agent of economic recovery, it will be a platform from where we can think about. The other thing that I think will transform is that as we deglobalize in the wake of the pandemia, as we try to be working more closely with our, quote, natural friends and neighbors, I believe that this will create an opportunity for companies in our field to work more together. And although we all each province wants to have all its toys and all its transportation, distribution, and production of electricity, we will not be able to afford building all this in redundance without working with our neighbors. So I think it will create an opportunity for Hydro-Quebec, for people in Ontario, with Newfoundland and the Atlantic provinces to rethink the way we've been working together and to push a little bit into innovation and start sharing more of what we have for our collective good.
My next question was going to be about vision, and you certainly are touching, like your last answer is touching on a whole bunch of that. I would imagine, as you're going through this process where you're getting hired, the government is asking you, okay, what is your vision for Hydro-Quebec? Can you just expand a bit on that? You touched on talking about the neighbors and how you've got to work against, not to have redundancies and working together, but really at the core, what's your vision for the future of Hydro-Quebec?
Well, if I had to put one word, we want to have a big heart and a big intellect, and we want to be a great partner, a partner first for our employees, partner for our customers, partner with the Cree, the News, the people with which with who we work with, partners for our neighbors. And when I say partners, it's more than a commercial partner. It really is, we want to be a great neighbor that can help people and having in mind the best interests of the collective good. And I think if people can see us like that in the short term, the medium term, and the long term, we will have been positioning this fabulous company, this fabulous society, and a great tool for social, economic, and environmental development, well and poised for the future.
We're with Sophie Brochu. She is the new CEO of Hydro-Quebec. Madame Brochu, where does the growth for Hydro-Quebec in the future come from? Is it from getting those people in the U.S., in New York State, and Massachusetts, and Vermont to buy? Where is the growth for the future of Hydro-Quebec?
Well, Elias, today I would be very presumptuous in being very assertive about that, because frankly, nobody knows what tomorrow will be made of, given what we're seeing. I think before growth, I'm not saying we don't want growth, we certainly want growth, but before growth, we want to be pertinent, we want to be efficient, we want to be competitive, and if we can do that, growth will come. So I would say that the focus of organization today is to rethink its comparative advantage and see where we can actually create value, and from that value we will have growth. So yes, the neighbor markets will still be in need of electricity. Our electricity will always be green, competitive, renewable, but it will be more important even to be able to be innovative and collaborative, because you can be really rich, but if you don't share, it doesn't mean anything. So if we want to grow, we need to be pertinent, innovative, competitive, pertinent, efficient, and from that, growth will come in many ways. Like we've been talking about, we realize the realization of our society today is to say, geez, we should be more autarcic, we should be more autonomous with medical supplies, we should be more autonomous with food. And from that, there will be new consumption being developed in Quebec. We will probably want to produce more of our own food. This will be a new prong for the demand in Quebec. This is an example. Mm-hmm. Others will diminish because of, let's say, for example, if you are in the gasoline distribution, people are realizing today that they can work from home. What type of impact will it have on transportation? And as we do, we will have more electric transportation. Mm-hmm. So all this, but frankly, it will be very presumptuous for anybody today to say, here is a clear path, this is my trajectory. I think today it's more about building the mental posture to be ready, challenge, and to capture the opportunities. And if I look at the strat plan of Hydro-Quebec, I'm sure of one thing. It will be different. Yeah. Pieces of it will be exactly the same. Some pieces of it will be accelerated. Other pieces of it will be slowed. And things that are not in there will become a priority.
Madame Brochu, we don't have much time, but I want to get some questions in here. Of course, for our listeners, they care about the pocketbook, right?
Sure.
So what can you tell our listeners, and I know I've looked at the stats, I've looked at all of North America, and I know Hydro-Quebec has like the lowest rates there. But still people want to make sure that they're not getting duped, that their bills aren't too high. What can you tell our listeners about their pocketbook and where you want to take Hydro-Quebec?
Okay, well, you've summarized that very well. Your listeners probably have seen that Ontario has reduced its electrical bill because of pandemia. What your listeners need to know is that our average residential rate is about 7.3 cents a kilowatt hour. In Ontario, the price of electricity was and still is extremely high for various reasons. We won't get into that. And they have a dynamic tarification so that in certain peak time of the day, people could pay as high as 20 cents a kilowatt hour. So when people got all confined in their house, they started to work from their house, the electricity bills would have gone through the roof. They reduced that. The bottom line is that Ontario brought it to 10 cents a kilowatt hours after all reducing. It's still 30% higher than we are. So what we know is that the year that we're going through right now, there is no increase in the electricity rate. It's flat. After that, it will be inflation. And as we go through the pandemic, people who cannot pay their bill, on a current basis, won't have any penalty when they will pay that. There will be no interruption. I want to repeat that.
Yes.
There will be no interruption, during the pandemic. We will work it through with our customers. We will take arrangement. And yes, our competitive and reliable electricity is one of the foundations that will allow us to rebound as quickly as possible.
Sophie Brochu is the new CEO of Hydro-Quebec. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir. And please, everybody, just follow what we're being asked, and ça va bien aller.